Hey everyone, and welcome back to Basically Sci-Fi, the show your boyfriend warned you about. My name's Todd.
I don't know about that joke, but
You don't know.
we'll keep it in anyways, just in case.
I've been crunching the numbers. Our demographics are primarily female.
I thought they were primarily us.
Yep. Anyway, hi. My name's Todd again. Hi.
And I am Jared, still.
Hi, Jared, still.
Somehow.
So what's up, my man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just working. Writing.
Yep. Living the dream. Me too.
At least when I fall asleep at work, yes.
Oh, I get it, because you're dreaming. Maybe.
That would be the joke.
I don't know, it would take you a while for you to hit REM sleep.
Takes me no time at all when I'm at work.
Damn. That's gotta be a superhero ability.
Given that I work in a kitchen, It would be.
Oh, damn. We'll call you the...
I actually have never slept at work, but...
Okay.
That's beside the point.
Okay. I guess your boss is listening to this podcast now.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think he does the internet.
Oh, man. Okay, well that's good, because last time we made fun of him for jacking off in the bathroom.
Yeah, but he does do that.
Alright. Yeah, he does. You know, lots of people do, and I'm not necessarily judging it. If you guys do it at home...
Well, yeah, you can't judge them because you're one of them.
I happen to have a particularly nice bathroom at work. And a lot of time...
By that you mean large mirror?
Large mirror. I like to write myself into my stories, you know?
Yeah.
Like Stan Lee.
Always good to have a personal perspective.
Yeah. Let me see. Our stories this week, we had prompts. What were they?
It was fuel shortage and androids.
Androids and fuel shortage. How will those go together?
Sure was.
Stay tuned.
Not particularly well in my case. I went into writing it thinking it was food shortage. And so I added a one-liner at the end of my story to cover fuel shortage instead.
Well, food is people fuel, so we're all good.
Yeah, fair enough.
With that in mind, I'm going to ask you every single week, do you want to go first or should I go first again?
And I'm going to tell you every single week, let's maintain some consistency and have you go first.
Sure. All right, then.
Yeah.
All right, I will go first. If you don't remember from last time, we had Ari. He's my man.
Your WoW character.
My WoW character. Ari Star. And he had just been teleported up into teleportation customs in the giant space station / moon floating above Meteoria 7. When everything was going fine, you know, they found Steve jerking off in the bathroom, but that
Steve will do that.
But he was friendly enough, so everything was cool. And then suddenly a big fucking monster guy walked in.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the Dark Lord E-Death. Who's, you know, You'll find out later is very aptly named.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, I won't make any jokes preempting yours.
No, feel free, because no one is going to see this one coming.
Alright.
Alright. So this story is called Don't Speak. E-Death loomed over Ari. The monster was enormous. The kind of man who goes into JCPenney big and tall section and then complains that sizes only go up to 6XL. He wore
Dave.
He wore a black cloak and hood, but slithering out from the sleeves, A mess of tentacles emerged, each writhing seemingly with a mind of its own, and each tentacle's mind clinging desperately to the edge of insanity. There was no face to be seen under the hood, just a ball of gas glowing with the faint light of a dying star. From somewhere within the nebulous darkness-piercing light of two dazzling blue eyes paralyzed Eri under their gaze. One of the Dark Lord Edeth's tentacles began to slide up Eri's thigh, and then the hooded monstrosity leaned in close. His breath reeked of sulfur, and he spit a little as he talked. The fiend whispered directly into Eri's mind. I wish that I could be like the cool kids. It was a profoundly sad thing to say to someone, especially when meeting for the first time. Eri had to say something. Yeah, all the cool kids. They seemed to fit in. The Dark Lord threw... so stupid. The Dark Lord threw his head back and laughed. Ah, yes, no doubt, it's you, Terrester. Forgive me, all you humans look the same to me, especially the Asian ones. But you...
Jesus.
But you knew the password we agreed upon, so it must be you. Eri had figured out a bit about this Terrastar guy based on heavily telegraphed context clues thus far. He knew Terry did volunteer work, was a minor. He had multiple sclerosis, something. He was a spy, and he was living openly in an interracial marriage to a bird woman. Yuck! Despite all this information, Eri wasn't sure he could keep up the ruse on his own much longer. Luckily, space villains have a penchant for exposition, and Dark Lord Edeth was no different. As you know, Terrester, I sent you to that asteroid to search for one of the 4 dark crystals. There are multiple evil factions vying for control of them, but I have no doubt we will get them first. Unfortunately, I only have a vague idea of where they are, and so far we've just kind of been randomly checking various asteroids. But now, I know where a crystal is, and will rely on you again to infiltrate a nearby planet and get it for me. I would also like to take the opportunity to remind you that my preferred pronoun is they. Nova interrupted quickly. Is the second person pronoun you okay? Yes, no doubt, but I appreciate you asking. I used to ask people to use them instead of you, but when I ran out of room in the infinite void to banish offenders to, I realized how confusing and difficult that was to remember. Meanwhile, in the lobby, a lone figure skulked among the corpses. The corpses? Wait, what corpses, you ask? Lord Edeth had been in an eye-explodey mood today, so yeah, everyone in Space Customs was already dead. The figure took a seat next to one of the corpses, splayed out on a cheap plastic bench. The corpse had been listening to music very loudly without headphones, 'cause he was a douche. But not everyone in the lobby was a douche, but look, you're in a room with so many people, and you know some of them deserve to die. The figure had the shape of a man, but something seemed off about him. He began to speak to the corpse. Hello, fellow carbon-based life form. I hear you're listening to music. I too enjoy music. You know, I think we have a lot in common, and I feel, with my feelings, that I can trust you. Let us engage in conversation. He then abruptly adopted the persona of an old Maine lobsterman. Name's Iggy. Iggy88. So...
You should,
you like that?
Practice on that
I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it as I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, you want to know about the Dark Lord Edeth? Yep. Saved that life, I did. This was back before the space war. You know, the one...
Is this character going to die pretty soon?
You can only hope. The space wall. Yup, the space wall. See, I was driving a space taxi back then. Little did I know that picking up that man would change my life forever. Change the fate of the universe, it did. Iggy-88 produced a flask of oil from his coat pocket. He tilted the flask to the corpse, offering him a drink. The corpse politely refused. I'll never forget that day. The 4 suns of Sparteen shone brightly. There were 4 suns back then in old Sparteen. Suddenly, the story transitioned incredibly smoothly to a flashback somehow. Iggy was sitting in a taxi staring forward, doing nothing. Back then he wore his hair long, so you could tell that he was younger. A brown strand dangled before his eyes, and he sat, eyes fixated on the emptiness of space. Suddenly, a voice barked from the intercom. Iggy, come in. I got a job for you. No response. Iggy, answer me. You best not be gallivanting around picking up hot alien sluts again. Iggy's hand moved to pick up the receiver. You caught me, boss. Come on, babe. Out you go. Iggy's got work to do. Iggy opened the side hatch and slammed the door shut loudly. Neither Iggy nor his boss considered how this would be a death sentence for any alien to get kicked out of a taxi into the blackness of space. Okay, boss, what is it? Iggy, you dog. You gotta tell me how you do it. Maybe later, boss. What do you need? I got a guy waiting on a planet near your location, Sparteen. Sounds like trouble. Be careful with this one, Ig. Sparteen was a barren planet without much life, but it was well known for its underground casino and its illegal deathmatch arena. If one was looking for trouble, it could be found there. Iggy swooped down to the planet near a sign that read, Illegal Deathmatch Arena, in bright neon green font. A middle-aged bald man ran up to the hatch and knocked. Iggy popped open the door to let the man in. Hot out there? Iggy asked, because temperature is a thing that people talk about. Yeah, let's go, the bald man replied. Where to? This your first time to Sparteen, asshole? As far away as possible. Just move. Alrighty then, Iggy replied chipperly. As far away as possible, southeastern edge of the universe, warp engage. Wait, what? Whoa, stop! But it was too late. A moment later, Iggy, the bald man, and the taxi were resting precariously on the southeastern corner of the universe. The fuel gauge blinked quietly. Are you an idiot? I hope you got some spare fuel cells to get us back. Why would you want to go back? I assumed you were in some kind of trouble? Yeah, guess you could say that, the bald man said as he lit a space cigarette for a dramatic effect. Iggy exaggeratedly coughed and then turned on the no smoking sign. Sorry, dumbass, but we're gonna die out here and I don't give a shit about your sign. Iggy coughed again loudly and then rolled up the divider between the front and back seats. Hey, fuck you, we got bigger problems than smoke here. Iggy spoke through a speaker to the back seat. I'm gonna get out and push. Yeah, good luck breathing out there, dipshit. The bald man sat and muttered to himself. Yeah, right. He's gonna push us back to Sparteen. Shit, I could at least use someone to talk to while sitting here waiting to starve to death. Iggy then got out of the space taxi and promptly pushed it right off the edge of the goddamn universe. He really disliked smoking. The taxi fell and fell and fell and fell and fell and fell and fell. This went on for a really long time. Or distance. It's kind of hard to explain how falling works outside the realms of space and time. Like, just go with me on this, okay?
Alright.
Alright. After what felt like days to those of us who measure time in such a way, a giant white man with a big, white, bushy beard caught the taxi in the palm of his hand. With one of his perfectly manicured nails, he peeled the roof off the cab and peered inside at the bald man. There, the bald man sat in a puddle of his own shit because he had no toilet, and semen because he'd had nothing to do for a while. Bruce Coolidge? What are you doing here? The bald man hurriedly pulled his pants back on. Oh, hey, nothing, just, changing my pants. Am I dead already? No, your cabbie pushed you off the edge of the universe outside of space and time. Why the fuck would he do that? Language, Bruce. The bald man took a second to consider that this giant Santa Claus-looking fuck was probably God, and then said, Sorry, but why? He's an android, Bruce. As a machine, he lacks the capacity for doubt, and does whatever he wants, all the time. That sounds pretty good. Yes, Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't doubt yourself. Belief is a powerful tool, and I will share that power with you because my whims are mysterious. Space God snapped his fingers. Bruce blinked. What happened? I've removed your feelings of doubt, Bruce. You can now do anything. Ah, yes, of course. No doubt. Put your thumb in your butt, Bruce. That's a good idea. The bald man popped it right up in there with a squish. Space God produced a small burning star in the palm of his other hand. Bruce, can you eat this star? No, I'm a human. Humans can't eat stars. Humans would undoubtedly die if they tried to eat a star. Then you should become more than human, Bruce. Okay. And just like that, Bruce morphed himself into a horrible tentacled space nightmare.
God's kind of a dick, huh?
This is Space God. This is not to be confused with any god that anyone listening might believe in.
Maybe.
Maybe. Good, said Space God. That form suits you. Now you can eat this star. You can do anything you want, Bruce, as long as you don't doubt yourself. See, he's not an asshole. He's telling you to believe in yourself.
Yeah. Become a horrible monster so you can eat the star for my amusement.
Yeah. You can do anything. Bruce's octopus mouth opened into a black hole, and he began to suck. That Octo-Man could suck a golf ball through a garden hose. Which, I should not have thrown that in. That was unnecessary information.
Yeah, probably.
The star vanished into the infinite void inside of Bruce, and Space God laughed. Very good, Bruce. No, you won't be called Bruce anymore, or the Bald Man anymore. From now on, you are E-Death. Not for any particular reason, that's just what popped into my head. My whims are mysterious, Space God said as he wiggled his fingers. He looked pretty pleased with himself. Now that you are a star-eating space monster, what will you do, Lord E-Death?
Is God, looking for a blowy here? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, you already heard that Bruce can suck. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's kind of where my thinking was going.
well, that's not at all where this is going. So come on, get your mind out of the gutter.
Ah, that's a shame.
I know, right? I'll just hold on a second. Let me rewrite the ending of this.
Yeah.
Lord Edeth used his octopus black hole mouth to suck off Space God. All right. What will you do now, Lord Edeth? I'm going to collect the 4 dark crystals and use their power to conquer the universe. Of this, I have no doubt. Space God laughed again. I have no idea what you're talking about, but you go out there and have fun, kid. The newly transformed Lord Edeth pulled his tentacle out of his butt where it had been this whole time. And along with his tentacle, pulled out a jetpack. He strapped it to his back and took off, returning to the edge of the universe. Space God yelled after him. See you later, kid. Don't take any wooden nickels. I have no idea what that means. I have a coworker who says it to me all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Nice.
that's what he said.
Yeah.
When Lord Edeth reached the edge of the universe, he found Iggy doing something that looked like a doggy paddle, trying to swim back to civilization. Iggy took one look at the tentacled nightmare, and his eyes filled immediately with recognition. Bruce, you're alive! You're not mad at me for trying to kill you, right? No, I'm not mad. I have obtained true power. If anything, no doubt, you saved my life by pushing me over the edge. Cool, hey, do you want to get me back my taxi? No, but I can no doubt make you a new one with my mind. Edeth stuck one of his tentacles behind Iggy's ear and, voila, pulled out a new taxi. I want you to be my new chauffeur. Take me to the capital planet of the Galactic Society of Friends. I will tell them to release the Galactic Society of Friends. I will tell them to release their dark crystal to me, and they will do as I ask, or they will die. Of this, I have no doubt. Okay, new boss. The Galactic Society of Friends ain't a thing, and I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'll give it a shot. And with that, the pair flew off into the universe to begin their search for the 4 dark crystals. And the story transitioned back to the present, even more smoothly than it had previously transitioned to flashback. Iggy-88 still sat with that douchey corpse, who we are all glad had his fucking eyes exploded. We've been searching for them dark crystals ever since, bringing war, death, and strife to any systems that refuse to cooperate with our search. Bad luck for this here Meteoria system. Old Edeth's got it in their head that there be a dark crystal here. The corpse slumped further at this news. Been good talking to you. Have a care, though, round Lord Edeth. Not one to be trifled with. Now I'd best be on my way. A woman's piercing scream could be heard from inside the Space Customs teleportation platform. And then, sobbing. Edeth, you didn't. To be continued.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn. So, we got a framed narrative of Lord Edeth's backstory. Which means that the plot has not progressed at all.
In the least.
In the least. Tune in next week. No. Maybe something will happen.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Shit.
So yeah, Lord Edeth can do anything as long as he doesn't doubt himself.
Lesson learned. Lesson
learned? And what lesson is that?
That that guy can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Okay. A very valuable life lesson. Yeah, he can do whatever he wants, which should make, future stories either really easy or really hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. That could get complicated.
I know, right?
Should you... Particularly if you decide you don't like the character anymore.
Yeah. And then the character got sucked into a black hole, but then he willed himself out. And then he decided that he could blow away entire galaxies with his frost breath. Like Superman.
Yep.
But Superman can die.
Then he realized he could just want to have those crystals. He'll just have them.
I don't know. I think maybe he doesn't grasp the entirety of, his power, the extent of his power.
He's all powerful, but kind of dumb.
All powerful, but kind of dumb. That, I think, probably describes him very well. And so does Lord Edith. Now you know why he's called Lord Edith.
Yeah. Because that guy told him. That was his name.
Yeah. That's his name now. His whims are mysterious. How about you? You got a story for me this week?
I do.
Cool. What's it called?
I came up with pretty simple, unrevealing name.
Oh, good.
It's Space Critters Fucking Everything Up.
Space Critters Fucking Everything Up. This is part 2 of the story.
Yeah, it's a return to the, I have a little recap.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Alright, to recap last episode's events, a crew of worm miners with rhyming names, very important, not at all, discovered a small alien that they named Bill, that became a large alien, still named Bill, causing some distress about a lack of food.
Oh.
Now, more to the point.
Uh-huh.
Norman, our moderately disgruntled science officer, had smuggled aboard a cloning machine in the hopes that he could find a way to replicate the worms that the crew had been sent to mine from the planet.
Yeah.
It had to be smuggled on for the obvious reason that if he were successful, he would have put everyone on the ship out of a job.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Much to his displeasure, he found that the worms could not be cloned because they were actually quite advanced beings. His cloning machine could replicate basic animals that lacked higher function, like mice, rabbits, people from West Virginia, but it lacked the ability to generate advanced brain function. This presented something of a moral quandary for Norman, given that he now knew he was feeding what amounted to either a particularly intelligent orangutan or a startlingly stupid dolphin to their sentient fish overlords. Somehow he managed to soldier on and ignore the immorality of it all.
Good.
For the greater good. Using that particular brand of rationalization that only humans committing disturbingly violent acts seem able to conjure. Back to the story, though. Or starting the story, though. Norman solved the food crisis by using the cloner to replicate some of the food reserves and several hundred rats for Bill to snack on. It was at this point that everything changed for the crew and their newfound pet, as the leader of the ship's cat union appeared. Demanded that replication of the rats cease immediately, lest they upset the balance of nature upon the ship.
Nature upon the ship? In space?
Yep. Yes, there's a delicate balance between the rats and the cats that live on board spaceships.
Right.
Apparently. Don't be absurd. He's eating everything I replicate for him, Norman said. Yes, but if even one were to escape his grasp, our tenuous hold on the rat population could crumble. And then where would we all be? Rebuked the cat. The rats on this ship, Norman continued, breaking out his formidable knowledge of spaceship vermin, have just as much right to live here as you do. As stated in the Cohabitation and Constructive Population Control Treaty of 2965, clearly stipulates that neither cat through excessive overeating nor rat through excessive douchebaggery, i.e. overpopulating or physical harm due to cartoonish trickery, shall reduce the other's population to below acceptable limits, as laid out in Article G, Section 654 of said treaty.
That took me way too long to get the joke.
It was way too long of a joke. That's why I liked it. Stunned at the breadth of knowledge on a, let's face it, tedious as fuck subject, the cat simply stared for a moment. You seem familiar, was all the cat could manage to start with. He paused, sniffing the science officer. Well, yes, I suppose I would, given that you've spent the last 5 years on this ship, wandering into my lab, knocking my beakers off of my countertops, using powdered chemicals as a litter box. No, that's not it. You smell like the rats. That's it. You smell like damn rats. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous. Anyways, this went on for several more minutes. Just petty bickering and...
I hope you didn't write that
leading
in.
up to...
I hope you just...
Huh?
I hope you didn't write that in. I hope you just got fed up and was like, this is the way my story goes for the next couple minutes.
No, I did write that in, but mostly because I had written out the whole argument, and then I'm like, this is obnoxious, I'm just going... Anyways, the petty bickering went on for several more minutes before the grand reveal. Aha, I knew it. You're no human. You're a cleverly disguised rat. Well, not quite. I'm an autonomous robot capable of independent function. What? Just look. He pulled back his lab coat to reveal a series of plastic tubes and balls layered with sawdust, in which a couple of rats were running back and forth, pulling levers.
He revealed
They stopped
his
and
balls
waved
to
to
him?
the... A couple of rats were running back and forth, pulling levers. They stopped and waved to the humans, and flipped off the cat, then resumed their lever-pulling duties. Stunned, the cat's mind began to race through the possibilities, first trying to figure out how this violated the treaty. But since humans didn't even have the ability to make androids like this, there was nothing he could think of. And since he was not built to kill rats, there seemed to be no options available. The android interrupted before he could think on it further. I know you're weighing your options, but my existence is not in violation of the treaty. I'm a scientist, initially tasked with finding a cure to the plague on Earth that leaves us stranded on board these ships.
Oh.
Yes, I wrote like a whole bunch of stuff on that I cut out because it was too long.
Well, I mean...
But essentially it boils down to there was a plague on Earth that was killing off all the rats and cats.
Yeah?
So they moved them on board spaceships.
Oh, well that's
So,
world building.
because-
The people are okay, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the people were just happy to be rid of the cats and rats.
Okay.
Let's face it, they're just vermin.
Yeah. Both cats and rats have no redeemable
Yes.
qualities.
None whatsoever.
Damn it, we're ostracizing our audience of the internet again.
Yeah. Oh well. But that task had been given up. So instead, I've been working on cloning worms, which also failed, as was accounted of earlier. So now I merely serve as a moral guide for the unwitting humans as they blunder about in space, making discoveries like Bill, and I advise them on reasonable courses of action. Hey, wait a minute, the captain broke in, suddenly remembering that he was in this scene too. What do you mean by that? We're perfectly capable of making choices by ourselves. The cat and android both kind of chuckled for a minute. All right. Norman continued. You understand that Bill is the first life form humans have ever discovered? Yes. Well, yeah. And rather than return to Earth with him, your engineering staff wanted to cook and eat him? You would make a grand feast, an engineer piped in.
Is he a dwarf?
Oh, shit, where was I?
You're considering it.
Yeah.
He is a dwarf.
Was he a dwarf? Yeah, he might have been. Maybe. Dwarf engineer.
See if your Scottish accent is better than my Maine.
I will not, because I have self-respect. Shame.
I have no doubt.
He would make a grand feast, an engineer piped in from the back of the room. Ignoring this, Norman soldiered on. Half of your crew wants him for a pet without knowing anything about him. The other half wanted to leave him, pretend he doesn't exist, because they didn't want to feed him. All right, enough with the nagging. The captain gave up, finally. The cat took this logical conversation pause to say that the cats were withdrawing their complaint, and understood that even if an extra rat or two escaped, it would not be the end of the world, for they were clearly not as advanced a form of rat, otherwise they couldn't be cloned. Covering my bases here.
Yeah.
According to a previous bit of the story, right?
Right, and the world had already ended once for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is one mouse is not like plague level.
No. Not yet. Maybe later.
Ooh. Okay.
No, there's nothing about that later. Suddenly, Bill finally developed the ability to speak and interrupted.
Oh.
As well he should.
That's good.
Well, this has been quite educational as a study of your species. I've decided that none of you are acceptable species to incorporate into the galactic community.
Oh.
You cats have too many territorial issues. Rats have more potential with your android capabilities, but your needless obsession with finding creative ways to get cats to kill themselves is a problem. But humans, you astound me that you ever managed to get off your own planet. Though it would seem that soon your skills in binding up decision-making through pointless bickering will be welcome in a galactic scale. At that, Bill teleported away, back to his homeworld to make his report. Probably eat some small rodents.
Oh. I thought he said they had potential.
They were feeding him rats. He developed a taste. The captain said, well, that settles that. Everyone back to the posts. We're headed home. So, what do we put in our reports on this? Asked Norman. I see no need to mention any of this, except, perhaps, that we decided that Bill is a sorely underused name, and it should make a comeback. The ship started back to Earth, but immediately stuttered to a halt. The head engineer came rushing in. That bastard Bill stole all of our fuel reserves and took a shit in the engineering room. Well, we are most likely fucked, huh? And that is how the war began.
Whoa!
The end.
That's how the war began?
The end.
Oh my
yes.
God. But now I gotta know.
Yeah, now you gotta know.
I gotta know. Oh man, your universe has a war
Douchebags stole
too.
their fuel. It's about to.
Yeah. Well, mine's already finished, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you have a guy that can decide he wants something and gets it, so that war's over pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Except he's stupid. He can't figure that much out.
Thankfully.
Thankfully.
I don't know how I'm gonna...
Perhaps that will be his tragic flaw.
I don't know if it'll be tragic. I mean, it seems unfair how good everything's going for him.
Yeah, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't want to be turned into a raging tentacle monster.
He did. God just
Lovecraftian
said,
monster.
God just said,
well, no.
Become one. And he's like, okay.
Oh. I kind of took that to mean, like, God coerced him into it.
Well, probably there was a bit of that.
I was definitely looking at that more as divine coercion into Lovecraftian horror.
Look, I'm just trying to give Space God a little bit of credit.
Space God's a dick. Let's face it.
Alright.
Could have just was it Carl was his name initially?
No, his name was Bruce.
Bruce. Yeah. Okay.
Because
I get Carl and Bruce confused. Those two names they seem to fit the same sort of people.
That is particularly true. But I took the first name of Bruce Willis and then the last name of his character from Pulp Fiction.
Oh. That makes sense.
And then had him run out of a Fight Club.
But yeah, Space God could have just let Bruce masturbate himself to death off the edge of the universe.
He could have.
But no, he had to coerce him into becoming a monster. Seeking out dark crystals.
And again...
like the Skeksis.
Edith came up with that on his own.
Yeah.
God just said, what are you going to do now?
I guess I was putting more thought into the God character than was there.
What do you have against God?
Good Lord. Where do we start?
Good Lord.
Yeah. I was raised with religion, hence my propensity for taking said Lord's name in vain. It's just so fun now that I know it's not real.
It's only more fun when you're in a country full of people who believe in him.
Yeah.
Here in Japan,
That's true.
I get people knocking on my door. I swing open the door, angrily go, "There is no God," and they go like,
"Yeah, we know."
Yeah. We just wanted to know if you wanted to hear about these great savings.
So they have salesmen instead of Mormons there?
Yeah. Sure. People come and knock on my door like, hey, you want some sushi ramen?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Or no, it's usually pizza, and it's usually Pizza Hut. They got Pizza Hut here.
Oh, God. I hate Pizza Hut.
Well, that's the thing. I did, too. Now for the part of the show that everyone really wanted to hear. What's it like in Japan? Yeah. What is pizza like in Japan? Pizza Hut, I hated it in America, but I come here, and it's fantastic. It blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the highest quality pizza.
That's great. Nice.
And, they have all your regular stuff. They got cheese, pepperoni, whatever. But then they got these fancy pizzas with, like, Korean barbecue on it.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. If you ever go to Japan, go to Pizza Hut. That should be your first stop in Japan.
Every time.
Every time. So, back to business. Hey, man, you got a prompt for next week?
Yeah, yes I do. I got it written down right here.
Cool beans.
It's a space virus.
Oh man, space virus. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I came up with
Yeah.
stowaways.
Well, that's lame.
That is. I sat there and I thought to myself, what is the lamest, dumbest prompt I could possibly think of to give my friend next week? And I thought stowaways.
That sounds about like my thought process.
Not that I put a whole lot of thought into it.
No, certainly not. Anyways, to explain this joke.
Yeah. To explain this joke. Yeah.
We've recorded this about 6 times now. And I've said a different one every time.
Just, yep. That's okay.
Yep.
This seems like the prompt that's going to work, though. So tune in next week or 2 weeks from now, or next time, for stories of space virus and stowaways.
It'll be good.
It'll be good. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
And we'll leave it with that creepy bye.